Hello everyone. This is the video that you can watch to put together your free Stamp of the Month project for August. Besides your Stamp of the Month, I'm going to show you what you need to gather, but I'm just giving you a look at the cards right now. There's 3 of them, and I'm going to move them out of the way, and I'll show you what you need to gather. I used 5 different ink colors: toffee, mocha, paprika, pine, and honey butter. So those are the inks that you need, and just a few little supplies. I kept these so simple because I know you don't all scrapbook and card make in the summer as much as you do the rest of the year, so I thought I'd keep them really simple. In addition to those ink colors, some 3D foam tape if you like to use it for your cards, and of course your adhesive, and then just a couple sponges would be great if you have those on hand, and something to clean your stamps with, obviously. And then you need a blending brush. You could also use a sponge, some scissors to do some distressing if you want to do that. This is a little product preview from the new core catalog, the Essentials catalog that's coming out September 1st. This is a cute little tool caddy. It says "Close to my heart" on the front. It's about 1 inch tall, maybe a little bit taller, and it has a rubber foam insert in there, and it holds your tools. Isn't that cool? So I thought I'd give you a little preview of that. It's a really neat little nifty thing, especially for blending brushes. When you have ink on them and then you set them down, obviously it could transfer to paper, so it's a great thing. So toffee, mocha, paprika, pine, and honey butter, just some 3D foam tape and your adhesives and some sponges, and we should be good to go. Okay, I'm going to move those out of the way, and we're going to be working on card number 1. So in your little packet that you've got, you should see a little number 1 up there on the right hand top corner, and that's your pieces. So we can go ahead and take them out, and there are 2 little tiny zip strip pieces in there, so make sure you have those out of the envelope. And there's also a teeny tiny little heart from the dots that go with Cozy Up. So that's in there too. I'm going to move those out of the way, just so they're not in our way for our stamping. The card base that you have is White Daisy, and so I used French Vanilla with these papers, so that's why you have this extra sheet. You might be wondering, why do I have an extra sheet of white to cover the card? But it's because it's not, the stamping is on a White Daisy piece, so I wanted the card base to be White Daisy too, so that's why you have an extra piece. From your pieces though, right now we just need the French Vanilla rectangle, and we did we do any more distressing? Nope, that's the only one we need. And your mocha ink. So I'm going to grab that, and we're going to be stamping the tree in mocha, and then you need your pine ink to stamp the hello on the card. Okay, I'm just going to set that there. So pine and mocha. Super simple. Again, kept this so easy for you. We're just going to get the tree. Get this over here so you can see. We're going to get this tree stamp here, and then we're going to need the little hello also. So if you want to mount those up on your blocks, and we'll be ready to go. You will be amazed at how simple these are. Oh, I wanted to give a plug too. You've probably seen here and there on social media our new catalog. This is the Essentials catalog. It runs from September to next August, so it's good for a year. It's got all your tools and all your inks and cardstock and things like that. And then this is our new September-October book. This is the 2-month catalog going active September 1st, but if you're a VIP and you order starting today, actually, these catalogs will be in your order. All other customers, it's the 22nd, but VIPs, it's today. And there's actually a sale starting today at 5 p.m. It's a last chance clearance sale on a lot of stamps that have thin cuts. It's going to be discounted over 50%. So if you're in the market for anything, you might want to jump on today at 5 o'clock on my website and see what's there. I think some of the things will go extremely quickly because of that price point. If your stamps are new, don't forget to season them a little bit, rub them on your skin, or you can just ink it up and stamp, and then clean it a couple times. That would be great, either one. So I've got the tree, and then I put the little hello on my card. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on a block. And if I can get it straight, then it'll maybe be straight on my card. So we're going to ink up the hello. Again, if it's new, if you haven't used it, just give it a little seasoning. And I'm just going to ink up the hello with the pine, and about, a quarter of an inch, a little more than an eighth of an inch from the bottom would be perfect and centered. I hope I'm not blocking you. So there's our sentiment. I'm going to clean that off, put that back away, and you can go ahead and stamp the single tree in the mocha right above that, right in the middle. Super easy. So that's the mocha. And clean off our tree. We can put that back on the carrier sheet. Just be careful with the base of that. It's very thin. And we can put that ink away, the mocha and the pine. We're done with that. I did do some sponging around the edge of this French vanilla piece with toffee. We want to go ahead and do that with your toffee ink. Just grab one of your sponges, pounce, pounce, pounce in the pad, and then go ahead and run around the edges. You can do as little or as much as you like. If you like it dark, just keep at it. If it splatters up onto the paper, that's okay. That's kind of the look. Okay, so there we go with that. And you should be able to see on the tree here, instead of coloring that with colored pencils or something, I just went ahead and used my blending brush. And I've used this blending brush in like oranges and reds before. So I'm grabbing my paprika ink. I actually washed my blending brushes. They're kind of clean. So just on a scrap piece of paper, if you have one, this is my scrap. You can see I've done a million things on there. Just pounce on your pad, but then pounce on the scrap because we don't want that to be so dark. So just pounce on the scrap and then a circular motion just to colorize the tree a little bit. Again, you can do that as much as or as little as you want. If you want a lot of color, just keep at it. I think that's fine. Just a couple little swirls. Put that back in my tool caddy. You guys are going to love that tool caddy thing that holds all your tools upright. I love it. So that is all the stamping and sponging that we need to do. Super easy. So we're going to take your card pieces, take your card base, and the first thing you're going to want to do is put the French vanilla 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 right onto the card. And again, that is just so that the card base matches this French vanilla that I used for my stamping. If you need to trim anything off, you can go ahead and do that. Just open your card up, cut from the inside right along the card base. Again, I sometimes like to err on the side of being too large instead of too small. So you might have a little you need to trim off. You have some pieces from the Cozy Up paper packet. So we have some leaves. This is your piece that you're going to mount your sentiment and your stamped piece on. So you can go ahead and do that right in the middle. And I did put thin 3D foam tape behind I used the dark side of the honey butter to put that on. And then on the light side, on the back there, I did use some thin 3D foam tape. If you don't like to have dimension on your cards, I totally get that, but I did use some thin. I don't mind the thin. It's harder to mail when you use the regular 3D foam tape, but I don't mind the thin when I'm doing cards, because then it's easier to mail it. Okay, so I've got that tape on there. You can go ahead and add these pieces to your card, and you can go ahead and glue those down. And we are almost done with this card. Super simple. So right across the bottom, we'll put that on there. Get it straight. Put these on here. Just kind of space them, you know, equidistant, just so that they're kind of spaced out evenly. And then we are going to remove that backing from the foam tape. Oops, I forgot one step. Don't put this down yet. Just going to take the backing off and set it aside for just a second while I take these two little pieces of the zip strip. They've got little stripes on them. We're going to want to put those down right over the top of this paper. Right here on the left. And then same thing on the right. Right there. And then your piece that you've stamped is going to kind of just get centered, overlapping the leaf B&T a little bit. And guess what? Voila, we are finished with card number 1. Super simple. Super simple. Kept it easy to do for summer. You don't have a lot of time in the summer and we want to be outside. Although today it looks kind of lousy. Oh, I forgot our little heart. Come back over here. And we are just putting the little heart from the dots from Cozy Up right next to the hello. So right down here, tilt that a little bit. So now we are finished. All done. Totally finished. Okay, moving on. I have to go to a wedding. I don't have to. I'm going to a wedding this weekend. I'm so excited. The weather is supposed to be gorgeous on Saturday. It's an outdoor wedding, so I'm so excited that it's going to be a nice day. This is card number 2. We've got the envelope that says 2. Go ahead and take your pieces out. And I think these are all fairly large pieces, so no problem. Here is our card. And I should just tell you, I used colored pencils to color these cards. So if you want to opt to use markers or watercolor paint or something like that, you would have to stamp in intense black. I did not. I opted to just use colored pencils. So I'm just using the Mocha ink pad for the stamping on this one. So that's all I'm using. If you want to use a method that's going to have a wet method like markers or watercolor paints, you need the intense black. Otherwise, you're fine with the Mocha. The only piece that I did any distressing to is this Paprika Dark Side. I actually did the scissor distressing where you just rub like this with your scissors to give it a nice little edge, white edge. This is one of my favorite things. You guys know I'm always distressing with the scissors. So we'll go ahead and get that done. You can, again, do as much or as little as you want with this. I just like a little bit of an edge. So we're going to go ahead and this card is going to open from the bottom. So we're going to go ahead and put down your Mocha B&T. And see if I need to trim. Yep, I need to trim off the top just a little bit. Okay, we can get rid of that. We are going to mount this paprika on top of the mocha B&T. And then the honey butter, we want the dark side showing, so we're mounting that on top of here. And then we can go ahead, set that aside for just a second. We can go ahead and take our large stamp with the scene and mount that up. And again, I'm just using mocha. So that's a big stamp. Make sure you season it if you haven't used it. I know there were a couple people that ordered within the past couple days, so your packet should be on its way to you, but I don't know if it would have made it for today, but it is on the way. I hope I'm not putting my head in the screen, but you're going to put this right down towards the bottom. There's our little scene. And the only other thing I added was the clouds. I stamped the clouds in there. I think actually I just used the larger cloud formation on this one. So, and I just stamped it twice. I did stamp it off the paper, so you might want to put down something for scrap. And then I just kind of brought them in here, one there, and then I used the other side of it over here. So just a little bit, don't need much. Alrighty, so that is our piece. And this piece, you're going to go ahead and color with your, I just used colored pencils and just a lovely kind of a fall scene. I did fall, but you know, this stamp set is so pretty. It really, to me, it's beautiful, even just like this, which wouldn't that make like the quickest card in the world, just on a, you know, on a colored piece of cardstock. I like it just like this, or just, you know, maybe you just color the bridge and the bench, or just the trees. I think it's just a simple, really beautiful set. So whatever you decide to do on the coloring, it's going to be beautiful. All right, that's number 2. And then we're bringing in number 3 here. And we are going to need that same stamp that we just used, the larger one, but you might want to clean it off just so that you don't have any stray ink or whatever. And then we will need the clouds on this one also. And I used both cloud formations. So there was the one, and then we'll grab this little one also. And I'll put that on a block. So we've got our clouds ready to go. And card number 3 should have mostly big pieces, but there is that strip in there with the stripe on it. Alrighty. So this one, before you go ahead and glue down, just make sure you've got the right orientation. This is going to be the bottom piece. I'll do this off of here so that it's easier for you to see. This is going to be the bottom piece here. We are going to sponge distress that, so don't put it down yet. But I just want to make sure we get these laid out the right way, because it looks like a square, but it's not. You're going to want to put this on so that the mocha B&T is covering, and then the French vanilla piece, make sure you have it oriented so that there's an 1/8 of an inch border left, right, and top, and no border on the bottom. That's going to meet up right with that piece. And then we're going to put the stripe across. So just make sure when you're stamping, you've got it correct. First thing we're going to do is take some honey butter ink, And we are going to, was this the sponge I used before? No, this is the clean one. So we're going to take our honey butter ink. We're going to take that piece and we're going to sponge the edges. I thought I just brightened it up a little bit to sponge the edges of this one. Quick. Okay, so I've got some honey butter on there, and just want to make sure I've got it the right way. Yep, this is the way I want to stamp it. So we can go ahead and put this Mocha B&T down. And go ahead and put that right up to the top. And then the smaller piece of French vanilla, we're going to take toffee and we're going to do just some sponging on that on both sides and then across the bottom. And that we can go ahead and glue down to the bottom of the card base. And again, the reason I'm doing that is just because the square that we're stamping on is French vanilla, so I want the card to be French vanilla. That's a little generous, so I'm going to cut that off. But when I cut that off, I'm also going to be cutting off where I just sponged. So if you sponged already, you might want to go back and just sponge it again where you cut it off, like me. And you've got a little scarlet heart in there, but we can take this piece that's striped, a little striped piece, and we can glue that on. And that goes right on top of the French vanilla that we just sponged. So right on top of there, not up on the brown. Right on there. And then we are going to take paprika and we're going to stamp the thinking of you right down on the bottom. Sorry if I'm blocking. There's the thinking of you. And I'm going to put that little scarlet heart on before it gets lost. So there's that. And then just check before you stamp, just to make sure, excuse me, that you've got this the right way. Again, we want 1/8 of an inch border, both sides and the top. If you turn this, I think it would be a little different. So just make sure you've got the 1/8 of an inch border. Okay. Cut that little piece off. And then I'm going to set this aside, grab my Mocha ink back. Again, if you were using a different coloring method, you would have to use the intense black, but because I'm just using pencils, I can make it brown. So we're just going to take that and we're going to mount that on here, stamp that on here. And then we're going to grab our clouds. I'll start with the larger one up here. It's fine. And then the smaller cloud formation, put down here. Get my scrap paper in here so I'm not stamping on my mat. And then I put one over here. So there we go. Those were simple, fast cards for you. You can go ahead and do your coloring, or if you don't even want to do the coloring, you can see what I mean about this. I just, you know, I just think it's fine, just by itself. You don't even really have to color if you don't want to. I think it's really super attractive just even, without coloring. It's so pretty. It's such a pretty drawing. So there was the finished one. You could do either way, either color it or not, but I think both are pretty. So you are all set. That is your August Stamp of the Month project. Make sure you go on today and check out the clearance sale. I hope you find some goodies and some bargains. And if you are a VIP, as I said, catalogs start shipping today for VIPs. So you will get these 2 catalogs in your order if you order today from the clearance sale. And I know Close to My Heart has received 3 shipments of these ink pads and re-inkers of the new colors, and a lot of them have sold out each time. But fear not, they are, they're in stock within a couple days or a week or 10 days maybe, but they are continually coming in. So if you're trying to get those new colors, don't worry about it. They will come in and you will luck out and get on there and be able to get them. Such pretty new colors. Pumpkin and Royal. I think yesterday those 2 were out of stock. I'm not sure, but they might be back in today. But we have some great new colors, and the color of the year, if you haven't seen it, it's so pretty. It's right here in the front. Sure it is. It's called Journey, and it's kind of like a bluish green. It's more towards blue, but it's kind of a bluish green color. It's really pretty. So, and there's a lot of new products in Journey. So you will see that the ink pads were made available early because they do match the gnome paper, a Gnome for All Seasons Autumn, which I can grab a sample for you. If you haven't seen that, that's this month's special. These were some pages that we made for convention. So this is the special, A Gnome for All Seasons. It's very autumny paper, and it has gnomes, but if you don't like them, you turn the sheet of paper over and the gnomes, you don't have to have them, but it's beautiful fall paper. So those are some pages with A Gnome for All Seasons Autumn, and we are going to have a Gnome for All Seasons Winter, Spring, and Summer. So more gnomes coming. So this is really pretty. You can order this now, and that's why the pads were made available, is because the colors in here are some of the new colors, Acorn and Pumpkin and Limeade. So that's why they were made available early. And that's why the stock wasn't quite at the levels that it should have been, is because they actually were planning on them for September 1st, but then they changed their mind. So I hope you find some deals on the sale today, and I hope to see you. I do have 4 crafting weekends that are scheduled. There's still plenty of room in September and October. November and January are filling up fast, but there's still room at this point in all those weekends. So I would love to see you at a crafting weekend. And if you need information about that, just get in touch. Otherwise, have a wonderful rest of your summer. Have a great weekend. It's supposed to be super nice this weekend, and I can't wait to see you soon. Take care, everybody. Bye.